The Circle of Fire. This beautiful prayer is called the Circle of Fire. Circle because it represents earth. Fire because it represents spirit. More than a prayer, the Circle of Fire is an agreement of matrimony with God, our Creator. We are proposing a new relationship with God, and it's not important whether God accepts it or not, although surely God will. What is important is that we accept the agreement in our half of the relationship, that we do our part, that we live our lives following this agreement. If we invest our faith in this prayer, if we follow this agreement, we can create heaven on earth. To practice this prayer is enough for us to live in happiness and love always. It is something so simple and easy to do. But it is not enough for us to say the prayer. We have to live the prayer. To live the prayer is to align our intent with our word, to put our faith in our word, and to feel the reaction in our emotional body. Our emotional body perceives the meaning of our world. It reacts to our word, and the reaction is love coming out of us. In that reaction, we rediscover our divinity. We put our trust in God, and our whole life changes. Get very comfortable and close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and quiet your mind completely. Say this prayer very, very slowly, word by word, with your heart in every word. Feel all the power in this prayer, all the love and intent. Open your heart and let all your love come out. Don't resist your emotions. Don't resist your love. Let go and prepare yourself for a communion with our Creator. Today, this day of the Lord, when the divinity returns to me, when living my free will and with all the power of my spirit, I decide to live my life in free communion with God, with no expectations. I will live my life with gratitude, love, loyalty, and justice, beginning with myself and continuing with my brothers and sisters. I will respect all creation as the symbol of my love communion with the one who created me, to the eternal happiness of humanity. Living this prayer is about being alive, being in love, being who you really are. That is the purpose of this prayer. You can change the story of your life at any time. You are the artist, and your art is your life. Every word in this prayer has the intent to heal your mind completely. It can heal every wound in your emotional body and help you detach from whatever keeps you in drama and suffering. With this information, let's say the prayer again, step by step this time, so you can perceive the meaning of each phrase. Today, the purpose for saying the day today is to be present in the eternal now. Today, this moment, is the eternal now. There is no past. There is no future. Time is an illusion. Life is an eternal present moment. Today is the day of creation, and this moment is the moment of creation. By saying the date, you announce that today is the day you make a new agreement. What happened a week ago or an hour ago doesn't matter. What matters is your intent in this moment, what you are feeling in this moment of creation. It is a decision that you make today, and it is an ongoing choice that you make every day, in every moment. If you want to add the time of the day, you can do that too, because you don't care about 5 minutes from now or an hour from now. If you break the agreement an hour from now, okay, you break it. But then you make the agreement again. And you keep making it again and again until you don't break it anymore. this day of our Lord. Every day is the day of our Lord, because only our Lord, the Creator, exists. You have recognized the day of our Lord, and you believe in the Lord with all of your faith. On this day, you are making a commitment to God, and it is an act of power. When the divinity returns to me, this means when you recover the awareness of what you really are, the one who is creating this moment. This is the day of your illumination. When you recognize your divinity and merge with the only being that exists, you, the human, awaken and reunite with the real you, with God. Whoever you thought you were is gone, and it has gone to divinity. You accept responsibility for your divine self, and in this moment you recover your faith. You recover your authority, and everything is possible. You have authority over yourself, over your own life. You claim the right to be alive, to express yourself in the world, and it is obvious that you are in heaven. When living my free will, this means that because you are in heaven, you are finally free to make a choice. You recover your will, and the moment your will is free, you create a new agreement with life. You make the choice to live in communion with God because this is what is in your heart. It's not because your religion says you have to be with God. It's not because you are afraid. It's not the choice of the ego or the social image. It is your choice, your decision because you want to do it. When the real you makes a choice, you will not choose fear, envy, anger, drama, or anything that goes against yourself. Again, if you choose to live in this way, it's not the real you who is making the choice. When you are living your free will, the only possible choice is God, is love, is happiness. Once you have the awareness of what you really are, your choice is to stay there, to be divine, to live in love the rest of your life. And with all the power of my spirit, this means that you support your decision with all the power of your will and your faith. This is the moment of your wedding with God, the moment of the fire initiation, because your spirit is that fire. It is the divinity in you. First, you recover your free will, which gives you enough power to make a choice, to make an agreement to live with God. Then you call upon the power of your spirit to keep the agreement. Now you understand what you can do when you recover free will. You can handle intent with all the power of your spirit. I decide to live my life in free communion with God. This means you decide to live life in love with God, with your divine self. This is your statement that you are crossing a line of no return and making the commitment to God. Now you are in a committed relationship. All of your faith is there. All of your authority is there. With no expectations. This means you surrender your attachment to the outcome because you don't know how anything will work out. You know that you are married to God. You know that you accept your own divinity. You detach from the outcome because the outcome is not important when you are committed to love. Living your life in free communion with God, you open your heart in love unconditionally. You love for no reason, with no expectations. Having no expectations, you give yourself, and you keep giving without expecting anything in return. Your love is unconditional because it is your pleasure to love. I will live my life with gratitude, love, loyalty, and justice. In this part of the agreement, you are telling yourself how you're going to write the story of your life. The decision is made, and now you express the form of your dream. This is how your life will look when you are expressing your creation, your art to the rest of humanity. It is obvious how you will live your life, and you won't accept anything less than that because you are free, you are happy, and you are love. From now on, you will live your life with gratitude, and it is easy to understand why. Gratitude is one of the most beautiful expressions of love. Just saying thank you will open all the doors to an abundance of life's blessings from all directions, but especially an abundance of love. You will live your life with love, which means you will love yourself unconditionally. You will accept yourself completely. You will respect and honor your physical body. No longer will you criticize or dislike what you are, because you are God's creation. Your love is endless. The more you give your love, the more love you have to give. Love is your ticket to the kingdom of heaven, beginning with yourself and continuing with your brothers and sisters. You will live your life with loyalty. Loyalty to whom? To yourself, of course, which means that you will never do anything that goes against yourself. You will never betray yourself again. There is no place for self-abuse. You are loyal to yourself, and that makes you impeccable with your word. You will live your life with justice, which means you are fair with yourself. If you make a mistake, you pay for that mistake, but only once, not every time you remember the mistake. To live your life with justice means you will no longer judge yourself. You will no longer live your life with guilt and shame. And when you live your life without judgment, guilt, and shame, there is no need to punish yourself. Beginning with myself. This means that everything you have agreed to must begin with you. Living with gratitude, love, loyalty, and justice begins with you, because you cannot give what you do not have. You can only give what you have. If you have love for yourself, then you can give love to others in all of love's expressions. Living in free communion with God also begins by living in free communion with your divine self as God's creation. The agreement always begins with yourself, and because this is what you are, this is what you share with others. And continuing with my brothers and sisters, now you start to spread the seeds of gratitude, love, loyalty, and justice to others. You live your life expressing love, and this is how you treat others everywhere you go. The love you have for yourself becomes the love you share with others. The seeds of love grow stronger, and they keep expanding until they become a beautiful relationship with your parents and children, your spouse and siblings, with everyone in your life. This statement gives you immunity to suffering because it ensures that every relationship is an act of love. I will respect all creation as the symbol of my love, communion with the one who created me. This means you will respect the forests, the oceans, the atmosphere, the animals, everything that God, your beloved, has created. You are expanding your love and respect to the entire world of creation as the symbol of your love and respect for the one who created you. You make this agreement with God because now you realize that everything in existence is God's creation. You respect God's will, and you respect life as it is. You perceive God's creation, you respect creation, you participate in creation, and you surrender with total acceptance because you know that you cannot make it better. If you see a mountain, you do not say, "Oh, that mountain is in the wrong place. It shouldn't be there." No, the mountain is perfect the way it is, and you accept the perfection that exists within everything. You don't need to change other people. You don't need to change any of God's creations. You simply enjoy the creation. You enjoy the beauty. You enjoy life. You are alive, and just to be alive gives you enjoyment. And what is the result of this? To the eternal happiness of humanity. This means that all humanity receives the benefit of your communion with God. Since every human is part of one living being, the result of your happiness is the chance for all of humanity to live in love and happiness. You have decided to live your life in happiness. You are sharing your happiness with others, and the result is a wonderful gift to everyone around you. You are not responsible for the happiness of others. You are only responsible for your own. You are happy because you have a love communion with God. And if you can do it, everyone can do it. And the result of that union or a union with God is the eternal happiness of humanity, which is another way to say heaven on earth. The kingdom of heaven is your own mind, and for you that kingdom is real. It is here, and you are a part of that kingdom. You have a private kingdom of heaven in your mind, and by sharing it with your brothers and sisters, together you create the kingdom of heaven on earth, to the eternal happiness of humanity. Now you know the meaning of each phrase, but again, it's not enough to learn their words or to understand their meaning. It's about making this prayer your way of life. It's about the action. It's about practicing this prayer every day until you create heaven on earth. Many years ago, after finishing a cycle of teaching with my apprentices, we created the first circle of fire ceremony. The ceremony was for those who had recovered their will, their faith, their love, and all the people at the ceremony had experienced their divinity, but the challenge for them was to stay in heaven. They asked me, Miguel, how can we stay there? Why do we have to come back? My answer was, you aren't staying in heaven because you still need to purify the mind. Your faith is powerful, but it is invested in what you believe you are, and most of what you believe about yourself is a lie. Take your faith out of the lies. Free your faith, and you will see how powerful you become. If there is anything in your life that takes away your happiness, you have all the power you need to change it. You don't have to live with anger or sadness or jealousy. You don't have to judge yourself, make yourself guilty, and punish yourself. Words and prayers are powerful agreements, and you need to see what kind you are using every day. Oh Lord, I am guilty. I should be punished for my sins. What kind of prayer is that? If you believe you are guilty and deserve to be punished, you are asking for it. Suffering and drama begin when you lie to yourself, even if you don't realize you are lying. You can recover the truth of what you really are. When you finally see yourself as you are, when you finally take responsibility for your creation, you will cleanse the lies from your own creation. You will free yourself from emotional drama by uncovering all the lies you believe in. It is a process of unlearning the lies. It is a period of cleansing, and it has nothing to do with the dream of society. How can we change the dream of society if we can't even cleanse the lies from our own dream? The circle of fire prayer is enough for you to go to heaven and stay there. But first you need to take the agreement, live the agreement, and make it yours. To say a prayer doesn't take more than a minute, but you need the discipline to do it. Say the prayer first thing in the morning when you open your eyes, then say it again before you go to sleep. Dream the prayer. Feel the prayer with your emotional body. Be the prayer. Align your faith and intent with the prayer until your whole life is based on this prayer. If you betray yourself, then make a new agreement the next day of the Lord and recover your free will. Today is the most wonderful day of your life. This moment represents eternity. It is the moment when you return to love by deciding to live in communion with our Creator. Today is the day you agree to a new relationship, a matrimony with God. It is an eternal honeymoon, and that is heaven. The Circle of Fire Prayer. Today, on this day of our Lord, when the divinity returns to us, when living our free will, and with all the power of our spirit, we decide to live our lives in free communion with God, with no expectations. We will live our lives with gratitude, love, loyalty, and justice, beginning with ourselves and continuing with our brothers and sisters. We will respect all creation as the symbol of our love communion with the one who created us, to the eternal happiness of humanity.